Welcome to Learning Math with Mr. Tan. Today I'll be talking about solving linear equations. So let's start by understanding what is an equation. So you see over here on your screen you have x plus 12 equals to 10 and we're supposed to solve it. So this is called an equation because there is a left hand side which is x plus 12. There's a right hand side which is a 10. Sometimes it can include variables as well, and they are separated by an equal sign. So you're going to see this equal sign in an equation. It's compared to an expression where you only see, for example, x plus 5 or 3x minus 2. You don't see an equal sign, right? So that is expression, whereas x plus 12 equals to 10 is an equation. Okay, so what is linear? Linear means the highest power of the variable is 1. So you're not going to see x squared, you're not going to see x cubed, and so on and so forth. Alright, so then lastly, let me unpack the word solve. We know that all these variables, all these letters, they actually represent a certain value. Okay, so our job in solving an equation is to find out what this value it is trying to represent. Alright, so x plus 12 equals to 10 and I'm supposed to solve it means I need to find out what is this value of x in order for the equation to be balanced. And for it to be balanced means both sides are equal, which means in number sense it is 5 equals to 5, 8 equals to 8, and 10 equals to 10, and so on. Alright, so it has to be balanced, and so there's only that one value that I replace the x with, and it will make both the left hand side and right hand side equal. Okay, so now that we've gotten the concept out of the way, let's focus on how to solve x plus 12 equals to 10. The next thing we need to consider is we want to solve for the value of x, means we need to isolate x such that in the end I get x equals to our answer, right? So in order to do that, we realize that we need to remove the positive 12. Alright, so there is a x plus 12, that plus 12 itself is extra, we need to remove it. So you need to consider what is the opposite. So the opposite of positive 12 is negative 12, as I put in here. Alright, so on the left hand side of the equation where we have x plus 12, we now need to minus away 12. I'm going to use a different color ink. So I'm going to minus away 12. And remember I said an equation has to be balanced. So therefore whatever we do on the left hand side, we're going to do the same to the right hand side. So I'm going to minus away 12 as well. So again, I'm going to highlight this in order to emphasize on the importance of that. Right? So next, let's look at the left hand side. We have x plus 12 minus 12. So plus 12, then we have minus 12. So positive 12 and negative 12 forms a zero pair. That means it becomes 0. Alright, so on the left hand side, we're going to be left with only x. And on the right hand side, of course, 10 minus 12 will give us negative 2. Okay, now what happens if I have an equation y minus 2 equals to negative 4? Right, so now let's look at the left hand side. We have y minus 2, right? And then we consider what is the opposite of negative 2, which is positive 2, right? So we'll put the plus 2 here to represent the positive 2. So on the left hand side I have y minus 2. So in order to form the zero pair, to remove that negative 2, to remove that minus 2 that you see on your left hand side, right, we're going to have to plus 2 to the left hand side, and then we're going to have to do the same to the right hand side. So again, I will highlight this thing that we put in to form the zero pair on the left hand side. Right, so we have y minus 2 plus 2, which means we have successfully formed the zero pair on the left hand side. We now have y equals to negative 4 plus 2, which is just negative 2. So we have so far see on the left hand side we have a plus 12, right? So we'll put here a plus 12 and then a minus 2. So we have a x plus 12 and then we have a y minus 2. Now what's going to happen if I have 9 times y equals to negative 18? So how do I handle a times? And also 1 divided by 15, 1 over 15, right? So how do I deal with a division? What is the opposite, right? So for the first case, we see on the left hand side here 9y equals to negative 18. So we consider what is the opposite of 9 times of y, right? 9 times or times 9, right? So the opposite of multiplication is division. So here we consider dividing by 9 on both sides, right? So on the left hand side where we have 9 times y, we're going to have to divide by 9. Alright, so here what we do is to divide by 9, and then on the right hand side I'm going to have to do the same again, divided by 9. So what we're doing here is not to form a zero pair on the left hand side. What we're trying to do is to make the coefficient of y becomes 1, so that we now have y. Alright, so 9 divided by 9 will give us a 1, right? And as we know, we don't need to write 1y, we can just leave it as a y, right? And then on the right hand side we have negative 18 divided by 9, which is negative 2. Right, next, then what happens if we have 1 divided by 15 times of b equals to negative 4, right? So how do we handle the left hand side? First of all, before we talk about the opposite of division, let's look at 1 divided by 15 or 1 over 15, right? So how do we combine 1 over 15 with the b? So we need to first understand on the left hand side 1 over 15, right? It is times of b. And as we know in fraction and multiplication, right, we're actually multiplying the numerator with the numerator, denominator with the denominator. So we need to put in a denominator for the b, so which means to say b equals to b over 1. Only then can we multiply. So which means we have b divided by 15, or b over 15, equals to negative 4. Right. So next, let us now consider what is the opposite of division. So opposite of division is multiplication. So the opposite of dividing by 15 would be to multiply by 15. Right. So here what I'm going to do is to space it out a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to do the same again. So I'm going to times 15 on both sides. So what we do here as well, if we times 15 or times 15 over 1, what we're doing is we're getting 15b over 15, right? And 15 divided by 15 is going to give me a 1. So therefore we don't need to write that. What we can do is to just say that 15 divided by 15 is 1, so therefore we are left with a b. And then on the right hand side, negative 4 times 15 is going to give us negative 60. Alright, and that's all for today's video. Thank you very much for watching this video, and take care, and until the next video, I'll see you again. Bye bye.